Alright, so this is the door panel video, and we're going to get a little bit crazier in this video than we do in the other ones, just because you kind of have to with door panels like this. Going to go a little further out than we normally would. I'm not going to do an easy one like putting a little pod or anything on it. We're going to pretty much glass the whole door, but I'm going to go over a couple different techniques that I can with just using one door. So I'm going to start first with, if you're going to mold a door, you obviously want to put masking tape all over the door, any place that you're going to put fiberglass onto. And that's what I'm doing right here, just setting the first strip. But if you notice, I'm making sure that this strip is laying really close and flat to this door. What essentially you're going to do is cover the entire door with masking tape and overlap them about an inch or about halfway, just a little bit. You can see the overlap sections here as it's speeding up, but that way no resin or anything you pour on top of it's going to seep through it. Just pull that door handle out and let me get this edge ready. But what I'm doing is kind of covering half the door, and I'm going to cut the top half of the door off. So what I'm going to do right here is just mark kind of where I want to cut, and I'm going to keep the tape on there just for the time being, just to demonstrate the whole molding a door. And what I'm going to do also is have a PDF written up in the members section that talks about molding, like if you want to actually mold stuff and different types of molds you can use. But again, right here I'm just marking to cut around the door panel. Not the door panel, the door handle. Sorry. Just take an X-Acto knife or razor blade or whatever, and go ahead and cut that little section out. As you can see, I've already cut it out. Fits right back in there. You see where it came from. Set that aside for now, but I just used the Dremel, got that little reciprocating saw attachment on the end of it, and I just cut that whole section out. Sometimes you can actually just remove sections of a door panel, but that one was it wasn't clipped in or anything like that. It was a separate piece, but they molded it in with like a heat gun, melted the door panel together on the seam. And you can see too on the back, I overlapped the edge a little bit with masking tape, so when you actually make a mold, you don't stick to the plastic. And you see all these pieces where the door actually clips in. If you're going to mold a door panel, you need these clips. You need to at least know where they're at. There's a bunch of different ways you can actually reattach a door panel. You can make your own little mounts. It's easier to just go off the factory ones though, because you don't have to drill any more holes. They line up already with the holes in the actual door. But right here what I'm doing is just laying a piece of tape over the mount where it's at, and then I'm going to make a little foot for it on the back of the door. Now you would actually just lay about 3 layers of fiberglass over this, and it wraps around to the front, so it's all part of the door panel, but it wouldn't actually be attached to the back if you molded the front of the door panel. Just say you lay fiberglass all over the front, and then wrap it around, lay it over this little mount right here. You could move that mount up and down, you could pull on it. So you would need to glue the foot down or put resin under it, drill your little hole, put your clip back in, and then you would have a mount that would match up with your factory door. And you'd have to do that all the way around the door. That's just if you want to keep making these door panels, you would need that. And when you pull it out, like if you molded this whole thing in glass, you pull it out, it would look like that. With the reverse, the inside, and you would lay your stuff back in there. But right now I'm just going to pull all this tape off because I don't need it for what I'm doing. I'm going to actually build off of this door. Which I wouldn't say is harder. Neither one is really harder to do. This can be a little bit trickier working with a factory door panel, building off of it, just because it has components behind it, little dips and factory things that a molded wouldn't have on the back. So you got to cut those things out or work around them. But I'm using an 80 grit right now, and I'm just going over the entire door, and I'm roughing the door up as much as I can. I really want the surface of the door to feel as much like sandpaper if you run your hand across it. Just that'll allow anything I lay over it to grip well. Have something to hold on to. And now here I've made the mounts for everything that I'm going to put in here. And this is easy. You just make, speaker rings, put a little brace in between them and a brace below it to hold it up at the height that I want it. I cut everything at the angles that I want them at. So, everything will lean the direction that I want it to lean. Here I've done the same thing, just using some scrap wood to build it up, get it a little higher than I want it. I got that little platform on the bottom that'll cover, that'll sit on that little gap there in the actual door. Same thing here, just a little bit of scrap wood just to hold this little platform up a little higher from the surface of the door.